right? There's no way. We cannot sustain that. So we need to do something, right? I'm sure you all have, in the past, have listened to a lot of briefing. Sorry, I don't want to disappoint you. I don't have the Army PowerPoint presentation to share with you. I'm going to talk to you from here. Okay. So how do you master that? I do not have a magic formula to share with you, but what I have was just been there and done that, right? And I have something I want to share with you how I did it, and then you can take that and use it or modify it, however that is best for your situation. The way I look at it, there are three key elements to master the resilience. Three key elements. The first element is vision. What that means is goals, objective. You need to know where you're going. You need to know what you want to be. You need to know what you want to do. Life is good. Okay? At your level, perhaps your next goal, your next objective should be maybe finish this class, right? Okay? So that is your goal. So I'm going to use that just to simplify that. That is your goal. You want to finish that. Second, how do you achieve that goal? With tenacity, with grit, persistence, right? Okay. How do you sustain that if you have to do this years after years after years? So first element is vision, right? Second is grit, tenacity, or persistence, whatever that you want to use. Go after with everything you have. The third element to me, and is the most important element, is honor. Now why is that? Very simple to me. That's how I use it. You're still here, right? Why didn't you, after your first week, why didn't you quit? Because you didn't want to disappoint somebody that you love, right? You didn't want to disrespect somebody that you really like and respect, like your instructor. Perhaps you didn't want to disappoint your parents or your loved one, right? I did the same thing. So it's a very basic three element. That is how honor drive that persistence, that grit, so it will keep you going. So, not too long ago, it's nice that today I'm a colonel of the motorboat, but really not too long ago, I was just a boat refugee. I was born and raised in Vietnam. When I was 2 years old, my dad was killed during the war. So if you study history and know a little bit about the Vietnam conflict, right? So after 1975, the North took over the South. Life was miserable. I ran in the jungle, stayed there for about three and a half years, living off the land, and survived. I ate everything except human. Anything moved. Monkey, porcupine, snake, rat, you name it. But when you're hungry, you try to survive in the jungle, you will eat. Why do I want to live so bad? I could have easily just give up, right? But no, I did not. The reason was because when my dad was killed during the war when I was 2, my mom had 6 children, 6 kids. And just watch my mom, all her sacrifices to try to raise us, and want to be somebody one day. And you really don't want to disappoint her, right? You want to be somebody someday, hopefully to take care of your mom, right? Hopefully doing something to better yourself, just like any other parents. As a parent, you want your child to be successful. You want your child to be somebody. So I want her to be proud of who I hopefully become. So those are the honor that drive my persistence, right? Drive my grit, all the energy that I have to stay alive. after 3.5 years in the jungle, it was pretty tough when you live without no electricity, no water. Okay, live off the land, and that's when we decided to escape. And once again, if you study history, you probably heard about the boat people, right? The mass exodus of South Vietnamese in the South China Sea. I was one of those on that old small fishing boat trying to cross the South China Sea. Okay, for those of you who probably been to on cruise and you've been to the ocean, but when you're out there in a vast amount of ocean and a tiny little boat, and you realize you're about this big, you're just nothing more but a drop of sand on the beach. After 5 days, it was horrible in that boat. No food and drink for 5 days. Right? Just imagine the heat and humidity in the South China Sea. That was 1979. And finally, we were very lucky, landed in Indonesia. And that's the way I had to stay in 1 year in the refugee camp. All that, I could have easily just throw my hands up and give up. Why? Same thing, going back to honor. That's how it helped fuel my energy. Give me the fire burning in me to stay alive, be somebody. And then when I came to this country in 1980, 16 years old, not very, I mean, some of you may be what, 18, 19, maybe? I studied ABC when I came here. 16 years old, 1980. In 1983, 3 years later, I graduated from high school.
Huh.
Now, how did I do that? You think I'm smarter than you? No. I studied my ass off. That's all it is. Very simple. It's grit. Because why? Going back to that honor, right? First of all, I want to make sure everything I do, because I remember when growing up and my mom told me, she's kind of uneducated farm girl, if you will, back in the older day, right? They do not educate female back in those days. But one thing that she taught me, she said, whatever you do in life, do not bring shame to your family. That is your essential task. So what is the implied task to that? That means is bring honor to your family, right? So what does that mean? You break that down to your implied task. That means is be good, do good thing rather than do bad thing, right? So she doesn't have a laundry list of do's and don'ts, right? She doesn't have to. Just give you only one single word. Do not bring shame to your family. And everything I do or did in the past, always think of that. That's how I keep my fire burning. So, in 3 years, I finished high school. Somebody asked, I remember I was on the news, I was on newspaper, people wondering, how did you do that? It typically takes average American about 12 years to finish high school. I did that in 3 years. And then I got in VMI and was able to finish another 4 years. Got my commission. So total from 1980, I came in, learned ABC.
Wow.
7 years later, I got my commission and my degree in 7 years. Without speaking a word of English 7 years ago. How did I do it? No, not because I'm smarter than you. Nothing to do with that, trust me. But I did study. I did study hard. And during that time, I remember in high school, when you first came to a strange country, penniless. My luggage is nothing more but one of the grocery paper bag that you found in Kroger or something like that. That's all I had. So I did busboy in a restaurant. cut grass. At night, church custodian. Sunday weekend, I deliver newspaper. Okay, so I did all that. Oh, by the way, my first apartment furniture is fully furnished with furniture that I pick up Sunday morning from somebody's front yard. You know, and I remember at that time, God, these crazy Americans. These are good mattresses, you know, good couch. Why did they just throw away? You know, we just drive around the neighborhood and pick all this stuff up and pack our apartment full of these goodies, you know, including television. That's how. Oh, by the way, I was in housing project. Because when I came here, we were homeless. I was on welfare for about 7 months because I knew at that time those are just a temporary. So whatever problem you have, whatever challenge that you face, just temporary. Because I have my eyes on that ball. Right? Life is just like playing football. Think about it. Okay? At the end of the day, your goal is you want to take that football to the end zone. Right? And being born in this country, you start your life at the 50-yard line. For those of us, unfortunately, wasn't born in this country, we start our life in this country at the 99-yard line, or maybe in some cases 100+ yard line back here, at the other side of the end zone. Okay. So that's how when I started. So how all that drive, why did I went through all that hard work? Because I know at the end of the day, this is what I know education is my ticket to open office. I want to be able to do it, give back to my adopted country. Been wearing the uniform here for almost 29 years now. And I have another job, a civilian job. By the way, I work for a company called Harris Corporation. Prior to that, it was ITT Night Vision. That's where I helped design and manufacture night vision goggles. So for those of you who are very familiar with the PBS-14 binocular, I have 5 patents on that goggle. Very, very proud of it. So why do I do all that here? Just think about when I came here as a refugee, there are folks in this country brave enough to embrace a refugee like me. Right? So you need to do everything to honor their generosity, the empathy. Right? It's a way for me to give back to my adopted country. So as you go through, for people who to keep a very long career, they have something to keep the fire burning, to weather through all the ups and downs in your career, right? You know, disappointments and all kind of obstacles in life. You know, trust me, life is not fair. It will never be fair. Okay, but it doesn't matter. Those are normal. Problem will always be there. You cannot move away. You cannot just hurt yourself and think the problem will go away. Problem will always be here. It's just a matter of how you deal with the problem is up to you. Okay? Destiny is in your hand. You control your destiny. Okay? However you want your life to turn out is all up to you. I want to retire in a beautiful sunshine Florida and, you know, travel. So I have a vision. Okay? I want to have a easy life after maybe stop at 60. I don't want to work anymore at 60. So I have a goal. So that is my goal at this point, right? Because I'm 50 plus. So I have, my goal is different than yours, right? Yours might not be the retirement. You maybe finish this school here, okay, and then you move on to the next career. career. So you set your goal at maybe 5 years. That's how, when I started, that's how I did it, okay? When you think of the elephant is so big, it can discourage you, right? So you set your goal every 5 years, 10 years, or maybe even 2 years, whatever you set. But once you set it, you need to go after it with every fiber of your being. Believe me, it's possible. I've been there. Okay. So you're thinking of survive in a war, escape, can be with nothing, penniless, live in a project on welfare, and today a general. Is possible. American dream is real. Trust me, it's not